So I wasn't gonna do a message today, but because something came in, I felt like I had to do this reading for those who need to hear this. I just got the feeling that you have realized recently that, first of all, you're worthy, and you've always been worthy. And at the same time, you have been treated very, very harshly in your life, and you've had lack of support, lack of acknowledgement, lack of love. And maybe you have internalized that to believe that you must be unworthy, you must have no value, you must be a reflection of what people have said to you or how people have treated you. But you're realizing that it was never your fault. You're realizing the grief that comes from being treated so harshly throughout your life. The grief of not being loved, not being supported. That it is an immense sadness, an immense grief, because when we stop rationalizing it or finding reasons like, oh, my parents were mentally ill, or it's also because I was shy, or it's also because I was around bad people, whatever. But like, you're realizing, yes, it was not a reflection of you, but at the same time, it affected you deeply. And there is a big grief in realizing that people did not see you as you were. They didn't see you in a loving light. They didn't treat you kindly. Like, there is so much sadness attached to that I feel like you have processed it a lot, but it's like the last bit of it. There's this feeling of, maybe it's because I'm feeling like it's about not just grief, but about anger. And that relates to your identity and your boundaries, your needs, your sense of worth. It's almost like the more you feel that you're worthy and the more that you feel you have value in this world, the more you feel how worthless you were treated. The more support you get, the more you feel how little you were supported in the past. So again, while you're outlining this identity that you are, this person you are, with your values, with your boundaries, with your needs, with your sense of self-worth, the more you feel how little you were outlined in the past, how little you were supported, how little you were seen as you. So the more you step into who you are, the more you feel how little you were allowed to be you for your entire life. It's not just about your childhood, but it's also just the past, or maybe it can also be like recently you felt that you realized that some relationships were not as supportive or kind as you thought. So the more you see your worth, the more you see how little you were treated as someone who was worthy. And that has affected you deeply. There is a deep, deep, deep grief that you have processed. But it's almost like there's that step of anger about it, because that feeling of being so mistreated, that is about unfairness. It is that feeling of like, why me? And unfairness as well as like, what's the word I'm looking for? Unfairness, and it's unreasonable, and you can't rationalize it, you can't make sense of it, you can't find meaning behind it, because there is no meaning behind it, because treating someone badly, someone who has done nothing wrong, someone who was just existing, that is cruel. That is cruelty. You were treated cruelly. Again, I get the same vibe with this card, because it's about your identity. I feel like you really grounded into who you are. You really started to feel and understand who you are. and that how you were treated in the past was not a reflection of you, but it still shaped you. It still affected you. But as I said before, like, yes, the pain shaped you, but the healing shaped you too. You're still here despite it all. You're still here even though you've been treated so harshly and spoken to so harshly. You're still here. And not just it's not just that you're here, but the person that is here is actually incredibly strong, incredibly grounded in your self-worth, in your value, in your values. You maybe more than ever can really feel your boundaries. And when you like talk to someone who you're not vibing with, or someone who has a bad energy, like you can feel it, and you're like, okay, stay away, like energetically, like I need to get away from this person. Like I can't with this. I'm done with this. There's been some sort of drop. I can't explain it in English. There's been some sort of detachment. That you don't care as much as you used to about people who don't understand you, or people who don't respect your boundaries, because you know you can just step away. You know that you have value, and you know that this house you live in, this being you are, this represents your being. It's like, it's strong, it's powerful, it's grounded, and nothing can disturb that. No one can disturb that. No one is allowed to disturb that. But again, like, you have been disturbed by people throughout your life, and there is so much grief in that. But again, you're stepping into your power. Have you noticed any like demon type people lately? Maybe you've come across someone who has had like a really like very, very, very dark energy. You just felt it immediately that you had to be on guard. And you have stepped into that power more than ever. That fire within. It's almost like you can match their level, like as dark and heavy as their energy is, you can be just as light and powerful, but with your good energy. You know, you cannot just match it, but you like trump it. You can triumph it with your own energy. They can't disturb you anymore. You just know, okay, that's bad energy. Let me get away from this person, or let me like put my guard up. Let me put my boundaries up, because I don't know who that person is or what they're gonna do, but I can just feel this is not good. So let me keep them at a distance. I got multiple cards at once. Again, you're seeing your worth. You are definitely seeing your worth, seeing your value, seeing your preciousness. That there's something so precious about you. And that kindness that you've always had. You see it so clearly. You also see, you know, how you were not mirrored in that worth. How you were not seen as someone who was precious. How you were not protected or supported. You can see that so clearly. And it is like learning to allow yourself to grieve it, to grieve the things that you have been through, because I feel like that is a crucial step in like connecting with people, or becoming rich, or feeling abundant in your life, or, you know, achieving your goals, feeling successful in your life, getting that success and acknowledgement that you need. There is something that you have to let go of, and that is definitely to like let go of that grief about it, instead of trying to like avoid it, instead of trying to like stay away from that grief, or try to reason with it, or try to rationalize it, feel it. I'm also seeing, like, I know it's a bad example, but I'm seeing Sleeping Beauty, and that when she walks and touches that, what's it called? Like pricks her finger, and then she comes into a deep sleep. But with you, it's not that you're going into a deep sleep, but allow yourself to go over there and touch it. Allow yourself to feel those things that hurt you. It's not about hurting yourself, but it's about acknowledging to yourself, I was not supported. I was not loved. Instead of, oh, they were not capable of loving me, or they were lacking love, or they were deficient, or they were not good parents. Bring it back to yourself. Bring it back to yourself. And acknowledge that hurt. Acknowledge that child, or that young person I was mistreated. And it hurt me deeply. And it was unfair, unreasonable, and meaningless. Therein lies the anger. Therein lies the anger. And there is a great, like, that is, again, the power. There's a great power in that anger. It's not to be feared. It's actually so powerful to get access to that power. Instead of pushing the pain away and thinking that, oh, everything happened for a reason and stuff like that. Feel it. Own it. You're ready for that because you see your worth now. You see that it was never supposed to happen, but it did. You were never worthy of that treatment. It was not fair. It was so unfair because you know how worthy you are. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got the other shell card. Again, we got, oh my God, look at this. You see your preciousness. You see your worth. You finally see it. You finally see it so clearly. These ones came out together. This is so crazy. Like, these two came out together as well, and these two came out together. You see that worth, you see that preciousness, you see that pearl within the oyster or within the shell. You see, like, the core sense of who you are, your core self that was always there. It was always there. And a part of you, it's going to make me emotional, but a part of you is untouched. There's a part of you that was never hurt, a part of you that always remained. But it's not to excuse the pain. It's just the understanding that multiple things can happen at the same time. Multiple things are happening at the same time. Someone can be so worthy, so valuable, and yet be treated so badly. Like, two things can happen at the same time. A part of you was always untouched and pure, and still is, and will always be. A part of you, there's a part of you that never broke. A part of you that never shattered in a million pieces. And that's the part that you're really feeling now. At the same time, I also get that sense that you also feel the other path of the other part of you. The one that did shatter in a million pieces. The one that did break. And just because you see your worth and your value and your preciousness doesn't mean that the other things doesn't exist. You can feel both things at once. It's almost like you're stepping so much into your worth that people who meet you, they wouldn't in a million years guess that you were someone who broke completely. They would never guess that you were someone who was never supported or loved in the way that you should have. So you're constantly actually being mirrored in this state of untouchedness. You've never been touched. You've never been broken. You've never been mistreated. So that can also be a way that we almost forget what happened to us and forget what we rose from. Forget all the painful things that happened and just see the worth of our being. I don't think that life is about just seeing one thing. I think it's natural that sometimes the past comes up, or the hurt comes up, the pain comes up. It doesn't mean that you're not here anymore. You're still here. There's just something else as well. And maybe that is what you're feeling more than ever, that these contrasts are getting huge. You can feel so valuable, so worthy, feel so happy about being who you are, feel so grounded in yourself, and at the same time feel so fragile and feel so pulled apart by everything that happened to you. And I guess what I wanted to say is that you don't have to reason with any of it. It can coexist, and you can allow both things. You can allow yourself to be that. You can also allow yourself to feel completely broken and mistreated and feel the grief about that, because that's also been a part of your journey to really process those emotions and be with yourself. The reason why you have become like the pearl of the oyster, the reason that you have returned to this is because you have allowed yourself to be every version of yourself. And you can continue to do that. And you don't have to make sense of what happened to you. It's okay that it's there. It's okay that it exists within you. And it's okay to feel the pain. To move close to that place where you were hurt, where you were wounded. And to come into this feeling of anger and power, anger towards those who mistreated you. It's almost like you have not only grounded into the pearl of the oyster, but you've also risen up until this grand, majestic being that can look down on you and be like see every step that you took, see every version of you. There's like a higher self that you have stepped into as well, that can see everything from above. That is a great power, to be able to see where you are now, but also see how mistreated you were. Almost like returning to yourself, like time traveling, returning to yourself as a child, time traveling into the past, but with this new consciousness. There's this higher power within you that can see everything that happened and can see how wrong it was. Yeah, there's so many things happening, and I feel like I want to pull more and more cards out, but I also want to stop now because the video has become very long. But I just needed to make this message. So if it resonated with you, then I hope you will leave a comment below so I know if this was something for you. And I'll see you in the next video.